This is the plaintiff, Camilla Shorts-McGowan. She says she hired the defendant as a party planner for a baby shower she was throwing, and the woman accused her of being rude and then traumatized her because she pulled out a gun and pointed it at her. She's suing this crazy woman for the $5,000 she now says she's owed. This is the defendant, Rochelle. She says the plaintiff showed up at her house with 3 guys, and you bet she pulled out her licensed firearm and told them to get off her property. Bottom line, she's not returning any money because she doesn't work for free for anyone. She's accused of losing her cool. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $500 for harassment.
All parties, please raise your right hand. People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Williams now presiding. Litigants have been...
Did someone say, I guess, or yes? Everybody said yes, right? That they swear to tell the truth? Oh.
Yes?
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Douglas.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. Ms. Shorts-McGowan, what happened here?
So I wanted to throw a baby shower for my sister. She's having her 2nd child, and I thought it would be nice to do her baby shower because we're not from Colorado. So with her 1st child, she didn't get a baby shower. So I went online to Facebook. There's this group called Denver Black-Owned Directory where you can go and find a party planner, anything you need, you can find it there. So that's where I found the defendant. This was on September 23rd. And she told me that she makes cakes. So I was like, yeah, I need a baby shower cake. And then I told her it was for a baby shower. And she told me that she actually does setup and planning for a baby shower. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And then she told me that she was going to inbox me with pictures and things like that, which she did. I was satisfied with what the pictures looked like. So we set up an arrangement to have her paid, and I gave her all the details and a description of how I wanted the baby shower. And everything seemed like it was fine then, we were in agreement. So we decided to move forward. Then on September 28th, I sent her a cash app for $545. That was the amount that she told me that she was charging for the baby shower, which was to include the setup, the planning, the decorations.
So is that the total price? That was everything? You paid it all up front?
That was everything, yes, correct.
Why wouldn't you just pay a deposit rather than pay the whole thing up front?
Well, that was my fault because I guess I wasn't thinking at the time. I was just so happy to find somebody that I was like, yeah, that's a burden off my shoulders. Don't have to worry about it. And everything sounded good. Usually I do pay a deposit, but I guess I wasn't thinking in this situation.
Right. You should always pay a deposit because otherwise there's no hammer over the person's head to make sure they complete things. You should never pay more than what you have to, and you certainly shouldn't pay all up front from the very beginning. But anyway, so that's what you do. You pay her the $500, and then you two negotiate for invitations for an additional $45, correct?
Correct.
And then you send her the copy for the invitations. The invitations get printed up, and it turns out there's an error on the invitations. And what was the error?
The error was that instead of 2020, the date on the invitations was 2029, and I have an example of that invitation. But that was not the only discrepancy on the invitation. The defendant and I had a conversation over the phone about the invitations, and the way she described it to me was like, yeah, I make these, I go and, I use invitation paper, all these different things were disclosed to me. Yes, that's a copy of the baby shower. But when I actually got the baby shower, which it looks better through that camera than it does in person, because that's my iPhone camera. But the picture...
Okay, but who made the mistake of 2029?
So my sister had sent me an example of invitation, how she wanted it. It was for design purposes, and she made the mistake of the 2029.
Okay.
So when I sent
and then you didn't catch it? You didn't see that it said 2029?
No, I didn't catch it until I had already enveloped everything up and then sent it to her. She said that she loved them.
I have a question. Do you ever send a sample back to her to say, hey, this is how it's going to look. Is this okay? And then she approves the sample or no?
So to my understanding, which I have sent screenshots, she had sent 2 different examples of what she wanted or samples. And then I had specifically asked her, hey, do you want the first one? So she had agreed to the first one. So I printed the first one off because that's what she agreed with. So then when they had actually when the invitation paper had came up, I had told her on the phone before, when she had paid the $45, that I get them printed at FedEx and I use the invitation paper. I never said I make the invitation paper. I told her specifically, hey, it's $1.78 at FedEx and that's where I print the paper. And then she was unsatisfied because she said it looked like picture paper, which I got it glossy because of the theme is more like a gold. Gold and silver looks kind of good when it's glossy instead of like a dry, plain piece of paper. So I did get it glossy, so it made her think that it was photo paper. I explained that to her and I told her that she can come to FedEx with me to see the price and to see that I got the most expensive actually invitation paper that you can get and also the gloss. So I did not catch it until she has said, hey, it says 2029. So I was like, oh, you know what? I didn't catch it. It's whatever. So tell your sister if she corrects it or whatever, then I'll just print them again.
Then the second time that the invitations come out, I think the name Michael is misspelled, right?
Yes,
the
so
second
I spelled
time
it EA, I
Yeah.
believe, and it's AE. So that which I agreed to, that was on my end, that was my mistake.
Okay, this is an example of what I always say to what was the saying my grandmother used to say? Vítame despacio que estoy deprisa. Dress me slowly because I'm in a hurry. In other words, you're going to end up spending a hell of a lot more time because nobody's calming down, taking a look, and making sure it goes out right. So now they're printed twice and they have to be printed a third time. But then things start to get a little unpleasant between you two. But what happens once you see that? Do you decide, you know what, I don't trust you, I don't want you to redo them?
Yes, that's what I decided. So I told her, like, this is the second time you've gotten the invitations wrong. So I can do them myself if you just send back the money for the invitations. So she agreed.
Well,
She's
in
like,
fairness, the first time, when you say I copy it and paste, if you give somebody the wrong information, it's a little on you too. Yeah, they should have caught it, but it's a little on you. And then the second one was totally on her, and then go on. But you say to her, I want my $45 back, and what does she say?
She agreed to it. She told me that she was at an event and that once she wrapped up with the event, she'll go ahead and send the money back so I can have the invitations made. And you have to think about this. Like, at this time, when the second mistake happened, we're less than a week away from the baby shower. So no invitations have went out. Nobody's notified that we are even having this baby shower. So at the time, I'm like, okay, we're in a time crunch here. So that
but
day
how
goes
did that
by.
happen? Because the invitations should be printed significantly before you want to mail them in case something goes wrong.
So when I contacted her, it was 9/23. I hired her for the invitations to baby shower. I paid her all on 9/28. I didn't get the first set of invitations.
That's a problem. All right. So anyway, okay, can we move on to the next topic, which is you decide you want the $45 back, and then what happens? What does she say? Yes, I'll return your $45?
Yeah, she told me that she was going to send it back that same day, right after she finished with her event that she was doing. So I waited, didn't get it. The next day, I didn't want to like text her early morning because I'm like, it's early. Maybe she's going to do it sometime later in the day. So I'm waiting. I'm kind of getting frustrated because I'm like, we're really close to the baby shower. Like, I would hand deliver these invitations to everybody because I can't mail them anymore. But like, I need to get this done. So,
well, what was but hold on. She hasn't returned your $45, but nothing's, if you've decided you're going to do the invitations yourself, you should have gone somewhere and gotten the invitations already once you made that decision. Then you're just waiting for the $45, but it's time to go ahead and get the invitations elsewhere. But go ahead. So what happens later that day?
So I contacted her and I asked her, like, are you still sending the money back for the invitations? No response. I wait about 2 hours. I text her again. I'm like, look, this is really becoming unprofessional. I don't have the invitations. You don't respond to text messages. You're not good at answering your phone. And I'm just giving her basically a description of why I feel like she's unprofessional. I don't think it was rude. So she texts back immediately because she felt, I guess she got offended by me calling her unprofessional. So she texts back like a long paragraph and it's like, her being rude. She's explaining somebody came to her house to fight her the day before and they slashed her tires and she's with the police and she's getting that done. And, I responded back to her and I'm like, that's all well and fine. I understand life's happened. But if you would communicate that with me, then I wouldn't think that you're just trying to, take my money. And then it turned into like a back and forth text messages where it resulted in her saying, well, I have the stuff, you can take the stuff and you can do the baby shower yourself. And I
Right.
told her, I said, that's completely fine. I don't mind doing the baby shower myself as long as you refund whatever you didn't spend for the, on the things. Cause up to this point, you haven't really done anything right. Like, so it gets messy after there because she's like, well, at this point, I'm not refunding you anything because I think you're rude. So you can just take me to court. I told her I could call my bank back for the refund, but that's going to take too long. I would prefer that she refunds it. So, like I said, it was just like back and forth. And then finally, I was like, you know what? I'm going over there. So I talked to my cousin, which is here as my witness, and I told him what's going on. I'm like, she's refusing to
Wait. What
refund
were
the
you going
money.
over there for?
Well, at first I was going over there because I wanted my money back. I was really upset. But then on the way over there, I talked to my cousin. I was like, you know what? Maybe if I explain to her in person why, I feel like I deserve my money back, maybe she'll be more willing to give my money back. We went to her home. Now we were in the back of she lives in some kind of apartments or something. So we were in the back of her home. She came out with, I think, her children's father. Um, and he was just standing there. I'm trying to explain to her, like, hey, this is why I want the money back. So I'm giving her like all the examples. In the middle of that, she just starts being rude, like disrespectful. She's like, well, I don't know. Maybe your sister wanted to have a baby in 2029. I don't know. I don't know you guys like that. And so she was like being really rude, like making smart remarks and things like that. So at that point, I'm like, you know what? I just want my money back. And she's like, I'm not giving you anything. And I'm like, I want my money back. So it turned into like an argument. Like now we're loud. Then she pulls out her gun and points it, like she cocks it back and
No, I
threatens to
don't.
blow my face off. And after that, it was just like, then her child's father, he tried to grab her, like they're wrestling over the gun, and finally he grabs her, pushes her into the doors and slams it. So now they're back inside. So at that point, I'm upset. So I text her, I told her how I felt about her, and that was that.
You didn't text me, you called me.
Wow. Okay, Ms. Roche, what is your version of what happened out there?
So she asked for the day of the event. She did call me twice, and I do community events. So I did a community event for Corona for kids who are not allowed to trick or treat. So I told her that I would send it back and talk to her as soon as I was done. That night, I actually had an altercation that happened to my house when other females have came to my house and slashed my tires and did my windows. It was a family matter. And when she texted me, I was actually on the phone with Aurora PD, which I had explained to her, and I sent her pictures. I said, "Hey, my tires are slashed. I'm on the phone with APD. That's why I didn't call you back. As soon as I'm done with them, I'll send it back." Which I sent it back at 4:13 p.m. I don't think she received
When
a
you say send it
notification.
back, you're referring to the $45?
Yes, so that's what she had asked for. I sent it back at 4:13, which I don't think she got a notification on her Cash App that I had sent it because she came to my house around like 5:36. She got upset because I told her at this point, because she's being so rude, I don't feel comfortable coming to your house when I'm alone setting up a baby shower if you're being this rude because you're like rowdied up and stuff. So I said, hey, well, would you like to, and this was just a suggestion. I never told her I was not going to do the baby shower. I never told her that
Oh, let's see exactly.
that,
Hold on. No. I'm going to read this. Hold on. Blah, 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 blah. You never answer your phone, blah, blah. And then you say,
Okay,
should
so
I
that's
just
what
give
it
you all
is.
the items I ordered and the decorations and the treats so you can do it? Because you are being really rude. I paid you back for your invites. As many people out here scamming, I've called you numerous times with no answer. And you are literally saying, I have bad communication. I have all your stuff you ordered. If you would like to just pick them up and do it yourself, I understand. Some items are coming. How does it get this bad? You basically tell
I
her, I'm not going to
suggested
work it. You need to listen to me. It is not a suggestion. It's you saying, I'm not going to do it. Come pick up your stuff. And then it's back and forth. And then how does it get here? See, the problem is that you're texting each other and you're both irritated and And there's no empathy. There's no, if you guys were calling each other and speaking on the phone, you would hear all her problems and she would hear all your problems, and then two people would come to a resolution that is a lot better than the one you guys were coming to. Both of you are back and forth insulting each other, and then out of the blue, you all of a sudden, you mess them up. I'm about to pull up, sweetheart. Okay, let me see your little cousin that you brought with you.
Come on. In the camera.
Hi.
That's
Okay,
not
can
who
you raise your
came.
right hand?
That's not who came.
That's
That is
not who came? All right.
That's not who
Okay,
came. That's not, yeah.
This is exactly who came.
You brought a
It's
4-year-old
even in the
man.
police
You
report.
might have been in the
Okay,
car.
take
That
the
is not
plug out of your
who
ear.
came.
I'm not even going to listen to the testimony. Just put the just
is
let
not
me
who
just
came.
talk to
This
Ms.
is
McGowan.
exactly who came.
Okay, stop. Okay, I don't need to hear it. I don't need to hear it. I want to hear from Ms. Schwartz McGowan. According to you, Ms. Schwartz McGowan, you show up at her house. There's only one reason to show up at her house, and that's to intimidate her into getting a refund. I'm not stupid.
wasn't-
You're not stupid. She's not stupid.
Right.
Then you say, I'm about to pull up, sweetheart. And then she tells you, can you make it in the next 30 minutes when my children are asleep? What does that mean? You know she's going to want to fight you, and you just don't want to fight while the kids are up?
No, my kids were already asleep. I'm just saying I don't want to sit here and do this while my kids are up because I'm not going to be able to talk. We already knew what she came over here for. So
Which is what? So what did she come there for?
I knew she came over here to fight.
Right. So then you go outside to fight, right?
No, I don't go outside
You
to
bring
fight. I
a
wouldn't bring
gun,
my gun.
to a fist fight. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because you brought your gun with you and you brought your man with you and you wanted to make sure the kids were. So basically, everybody here is ready for a fight over a baby shower. Do you guys not feel the slightest bit of shame?
No.
Or this is just normal
this
in
is-
all your lives? All right.
is my- it's-
Okay, I'm out in front. I'm calling. And then you come out, Ms. Roche, and you have a gun on you, right?
Yes, I don't show her
And
the
what
gun
happened?
until she tried to come try to hit me. I don't
Okay,
talk it
so
back.
wait, let's
It
talk
was
about
on
that.
safety
How many
mode.
people, according to you, did she bring with her?
She rung 3 other people, 2 men and 1 girl in car. And these are like the guy had to be maybe 40, ma'am. He was heavy set, he was bald, he had a hoodie on, he was standing right by my dude. There was a girl in the car and there was a guy in his car. So there was 4 people total who came to my house.
Can I ask you a question, Ms. Roche? Why don't you just say, don't come to my house, I'm going to call the police? Why do you come out? You came out to fight too. You had your gun on you. So then you come out and then
No,
do you
I did
pull
not
out the
come-
gun, yes or no?
Yes, I do. When she tries to hit me, yes.
Okay, how did she try to hit you?
We were 6 feet apart.
Like describe what it
like
looks like.
this.
So she got
Just
like
like
that,
I
right?
just
And you
did.
got your man next to you. You got your man next to you, and then she comes up like that, like she's gonna hit you, and then you pull out a gun?
I did. I already had it in my pocket.
Okay. And then I looked at the police report, and in the police report, you tell the police you never pulled out the gun.
Okay, yes, they asked me what happened and that I pulled out a gun, and I told them yes because I have kids inside. And this is the exact words of the police officer, which I have the case number. He said, okay, it sounds like a mother protecting her cub situation, and told me to get a restraining order on Miss Shorts, and they left. That's exactly what they told me.
I just think that's hilarious because the officer who took the report called me after the report. She told the officer that I came to her house with 6 females and that we all tried
I
to
did
jump
not tell
her,
them that.
and that it's in the police report.
Okay.
And that she ran into the house.
Yeah.
And that she never
I'm going to
came
read
back
from your
out.
text. I recorded your 30-minute conversation we had on the phone after you left, so when you call the police, please give them my number. Did you, in fact, record a conversation, Ms. Roche?
I did, but I have an iPhone 11 and it's really broke, so you can't hear. But that
Okay.
was the conversation that she was on the phone with me and 2 other gentlemen saying that they were going to kill my kids, shoot me in the face. They contacted my older brother, which is his name is RJ. They were trying to look for him to try to, I guess, fight him. They called him. He called me and said, "You know what? This is weird."
Her brother actually contacted me. Her brother contacted me.
No, he did not.
And
I
he
have
asked
the
me
screenshot.
What did he
I have the
contact you for?
screenshot.
Her brother contacted you for what? What did he?
So he was given my number from a family member that called him, somehow knew him, explained the situation, gave him my number. So later that night after this altercation, her brother called me and he was like, yeah, what happened today? So I told him from the beginning what happened up leading till the events today. And I'm like, your sister pulled a gun on me. He's like, how much does she owe you? I told him. He said, I'm going to call her and get your money back. That's the last time I heard from her brother.
You're lying.
Did you end up checking afterwards and seeing that $45 was in fact sent to you?
Yes. So later on that night is when.
So why are you suing for that if you know that you got that 45? Why are you suing for it in this lawsuit?
Well, because I had already filed the lawsuit in court.
You didn't
No,
file the
I sent you
lawsuit
the
that night.
screenshots that
Stop.
day.
Listen to me. If you know she sent you back the $45 and you don't file the case in the middle of the night, so why are you suing for the $45? Now let's look at what else you're suing for. The $500 that you want back for the party planning, because you sure as heck we're not going to have any more contact with her when she pulls out a gun on you. And then $3,000 for emotional distress and another $1,555 for inconvenience. You got to be kidding me. This thing descended like an avalanche because of a complete lack of civility between the both of you. It didn't need to get to the phase that it got to. But let's not forget that the one who went to someone's house in the middle of the night to fight was you, okay?
It wasn't the middle.
Now, I know that she had to stop. So you are not going to get $5,000, okay? This descended to a place where it didn't need to descend. You should not be going to someone's house in the middle of the night. You are asking for trouble when you do that. You should not be pulling out a gun on people over $500. You should not come out to fight someone. It's a game between the two of you of ¿Quién es más macho? That's all this was. And it was ridiculous. Over a baby shower. You are entitled to the $500 back. The reason that I find that you are legally entitled to the $500 back, Ms. Shorts-McGowan, is because before you go over there to fight, there is already a statement by Ms. Roche saying to you, I'm not doing your baby shower. You can come and pick up your stuff. And then you say to her, well, then you got to be giving me some refund because I don't have time to do that. Now, I am going to order not $5,000, but $500 because I feel that the defendant is the one who breached the contract by telling you, come pick up your stuff. Okay? And Ms. Roche, you've got a counterclaim against Ms. Shorts-McGowan for $500 for harassment. And I take it that we have already gone over why you think you're entitled to that. And I think that you were both, frankly, full and willing participants in the idea of having a fight. Of course, you're both trying to play ¿Quién es más macho?, but you show up at a lady's house in the middle of the night with backup, and you show up with real backup, a gun. You are not entitled to the $500. She is entitled to the $500 for the breach of the contract, telling her that you weren't going to set up for the baby shower. That is my verdict. Good luck.
Well, the plaintiff is going to get $500. That's what the judge has decided. The defendant has been in the courtroom, but she just left, so she knows it's a $500 judgment against her. Ms. Shorts-McGowan, let me ask you, how do you feel about all of this?
The only thing that I do regret is sending her the entire amount of money before getting the services rendered. I should have sent a deposit instead. So that's really the only thing that I have remorse for in the case is that I wasn't thinking at the time.
You don't feel bad about it? It almost mushroomed into a really brawl between you guys? That doesn't bother you?
No, that's the type of person she is. She's a really nasty person. And I'm glad they were able to see that today. There was a lot more evidence against her, but she's a really nasty person.
Well, you both sounded equally, at fault there. It's a real amazingly that it got that bad. But anyway, you're going to get $500 back, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sure the judges have something to say about this, so let's see what it is. Time for another session of After the Verdict.
A baby shower can be a stressful event. It takes a lot of planning. You have to think about a lot of variables. You have to think, where am I going to hold the shower? Who will I invite to the shower? What will we serve at the shower? How do I avoid a shootout with my party planner right before the shower? This was just really unbelievable that things developed like this and exploded into this over a $500 bill for a baby shower. They really just went from 0 to 100 on it.
Yeah.
And, she did try to correct a couple of typos before things went sideways, but when they went sideways, boy, they went hard.
Okay, this is from Joe. Hey, Harvey. If you get into a car accident with someone and you try to collect and discover their insurance has lapsed, how do you collect restitution? Well, here's the thing. You don't have to worry about insurance. You can sue them. If you sue them, insurance becomes irrelevant. They might be able to come back to their insurance company and say, I paid, now you pay me, but you can sue them directly. That is your right. That'll do it for this case. Let's go back into the courtroom. Litigants are there.